There's a pretty good amount. I've really only kind of honed in on how it's going to affect the local space, but in general, I believe that SEO will be affected. I've actually been saying that since about late December, early January,
I
and
know we had some conversations about that. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I'm even later than a lot of other people that have seen this, but I mean, it is time to start taking action on getting prepared for what could be coming down the pipeline.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Entrepreneur Experience Podcast, where we talk everything entrepreneurship, the good, the bad, the ugly. And this is just a podcast where you just get to hear from entrepreneurs and people who are just great leaders.
Yeah, not just Clint Eastwood stuff.
Well, I mean, if we had Clint Eastwood out,
isn't that what the good, bad, and ugly?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah.
But just the entrepreneur experience is really about you, the entrepreneur who's listening and watching. Whatever season of entrepreneurship that you're in, our hope is that you hear our stories, you hear about our experience, and maybe you can get a couple of small nuggets about how you maybe need to adjust your business, or just encouragement knowing that you're doing the right thing and you just gotta stick it through and keep going. Because sometimes in business it's just keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're in
What's
that
the
valley
line?
of death, and exactly.
What's the line I always say?
Keep on keeping on.
That's right.
So
yeah.
I'm excited. We got a very special guest today, David Jackson with Tekkii. He is a modern
Tekkii
digital marketing company here in Kansas City, very local.
Yeah, that's Tekkii. They stole my I.
Yes,
thank
you.
Because yours is JT Visuals without the I,
and they
you stole the I.
I did. Put the extra I in there.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to balance it. You know?
Right,
Yeah.
right. But we wanted to bring you on not only because you're a great friend of ours, but we also watch what you do. I have a lot of clients that actually use your service, and so the conversation of Tekkii during my coaching sessions are about once or twice a week.
Okay.
It's funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have a lot of mutual clients. So before we get started, I have some icebreaker questions to ask, but really quick, a 2-minute bird's eye version of who David Jackson is.
Yeah, let's
What
go.
is that? Go ahead. Who are you? Who is this David Jackson?
David Jackson is now a devoted husband as of 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Nice.
freshly married.
So,
I was there.
Pretty fresh.
No undo button.
Yeah, no undo, no takesies, backsies. Yeah, none of that.
Marriage is that though. If you really think about it, it should never be a takesies backsies. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You make a commitment. You make a commitment. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you understand what you're committing to,
As
what
you
you're getting
should,
into.
right?
Yeah, that's the hope. Yeah.
Maybe the only thing you undo.
Our wives are listening. Hey, wives,
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you're listening, Rose, because she'll laugh at this.
Yeah.
I think the only thing you can undo is your clothing.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you find the eye somewhere there?
Yeah.
There's something there.
All right, we're stealing your
All right,
thunder. Go
yeah.
ahead,
No,
David.
all good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, as from a professional point of view, I mean, I've always been into computers since I was like 9 years old. I think was the first time I picked one up. I always did it as a hobby. Like I always thought that me just tinkering with websites, tinkering with video games, all of that would always stay a hobby. Little did I know how much of an impact the internet would have on our everyday lives.
Yeah.
I mean. I don't even remember the last time I went through a full day without using the internet in some way, shape, or form. And so
That's almost impossible today.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're super intentional about being off grid,
You have to be intentional.
like using the internet has really taken over our lives.
It really has. And it's, it is kind of an eerie thought, but at the same time, it's, it's not so bad when it all works. I think that there's a lot of opportunity that has been given to, millions, billions of individuals around the world because of the internet.
Yeah.
It's just that the education on what you can and can't do with it and how you can leverage it is missing. And so that's one of my core missions out here in what I'm doing in my business is I'm trying to help extend that education to local businesses.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, I love how you said education, and I'll get to the icebreaker question after this, I promise. But education is a key component to success in business because most entrepreneurs, I would venture to say the majority, 98, 99% of entrepreneurs, like we don't go to school to learn how to run our own business, let alone marketing. It's
Yeah.
you can go to this class to learn marketing, but it's ever changing, sometimes by the week,
Yeah.
to where if you're not even in it as a business or as a position in your company, you will be so left behind with the trends that are coming up. I mean, social media platforms alone are changing. I remember I went from getting 10,000 views on Reels to like 700
Yeah.
because I failed to update it to how they wanted it to be,
Oh, yeah.
done. And hashtags used to be a big thing,
Mhm.
not so much anymore, right? Like it's like, whoa, okay.
Which now they are, by the way.
Which now see,
You just gotta. There's a certain way you got to use it, which we have actually just learned.
right.
We're continuing our research too,
Yeah.
and the hashtag is actually the first step of testing the audience and the
Crazy.
algorithm. So
Yeah.
if you tag the wrong thing just because it's popular,
Wow.
that hashtag is the reason why it's not going to more people. That's why you're like shadow banned. No one's actually really shadow banned, unless you're really rare. But
yeah.
Yeah. But
so that hashtag to start with, like if you say hashtag, what is it? DFY or no, that's done for you. What's the one? For you page, FYP.
Yeah.
Hashtag FYP. That is like a very popular one.
Mhm.
And if you use that and it's a cooking video, but the last person that saw it, like the first 100 people that watch it don't like cooking at all, they're going to not push that
Yeah.
video out anymore.
And it's great you say that because that's what it's all about. It is about continuous learning. And that's something that a lot of businesses just don't really have the time to do. I was
No,
speaking.
we don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
That's why
it's
companies
way
like
too
you
much.
guys exist, like
Yeah.
video and
Yeah.
social media and modern digital
Outsourcing and within the business too, it's like that's now a team
Yeah.
can come along in
Well,
collaboration with other businesses and
yeah.
things like that.
Well, not just that. Like, if this is not a passion for you to learn,
Mhm.
you're not going to
Yeah.
learn it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like as a business coach, I spent more time learning this stuff because I'm coaching my clients to at least the basics,
Mhm.
so I can start pushing them to companies like you guys. Like, okay, now this is all I can help you with. You need to really, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to make your website. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Now you got Tekkii, and we have great videos through JT Visuals without the I. And once you do a video
Because
with
there's
him,
more
you
than
will
meets the eye.
find the
You
eye.
can't
Yeah.
ever not say it.
The minute they do a video with you, you find the eye, right? No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
The eye awards.
But I liked how he said education, because the philosophy of business, not the philosophy, but a big part of business is you have to continue to re-educate yourself.
Mhm.
Mm.
Like, it's not like a one and done. You're not learning a history lesson. You're literally like making things happen as you go.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to wing it. Like, entrepreneurship is like jumping off a cliff and creating a hang glider, hoping that you don't smash the ground before you create it, right? Like, sometimes that's what it is.
Those things are wild, though.
It
I pictured it
is.
in my
It
head.
is.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, icebreaker, really quick, just to kind of get on the personal side of things and everything. Coffee or tea? What's your preference?
Tea. I actually don't drink coffee.
Come on.
Yeah. I haven't.
We're shutting down this podcast right now.
I have a confession, though, Joe.
Yeah.
I like both.
Yeah.
Well,
But I
that's
drink
fine.
a lot more coffee.
Okay, I can
Tea is a
handle
good afternoon
Yeah.
thing, maybe.
Man, I
that. I'm just
used
joking,
to,
brother.
I used to drink coffee when I worked at my last job, and I used to drink it like every day. But even when I drank it, I just had, I don't know, my body, the way I described it is, it felt like my skeleton was supporting my body. Those are the types of crashes I used to have.
Whoa.
And so I just
I'm
stopped
very
because-
visual, too. So I just saw,
Yeah.
like, David.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's just you feel
the
real
skin is getting
sluggish.
heavy and it's
Yeah.
like falling off.
Yeah, I felt like that every time. So I said, I'm not going to drink this stuff. Now, I mean, a lot of people drink it and that's good, but it's just not for me.
Do you do energy drinks to get an edge sometimes, or?
Only so there's one called Riot.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it's not really available many places, but it's like, all natural, organic.
Yeah.
You can sometimes find it at like Whole
Whole
Foods.
Foods,
Um,
Sprouts, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But I mean, I don't know if they're going out of business or what, because I don't really see them that much anymore.
I do Celsius.
You
I
can't
like
even order them
Celsius.
online.
It's probably BlackRock probably bought them out or something.
Yeah, I know. And they're like,
Like,
gutting them.
you're
You
too
can't have-
healthy.
can't have
You're
this.
making people live longer than we need them to, so we're going to buy you out, right? So,
Yeah, can't have this.
Can't
So
have
Yeah, that's what the
Celsius-
major
We're not
businesses do.
conspiracy theorists. Anybody listening right now, just don't.
yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a tea guy. We'll accept that for this podcast.
Thank you.
Are you more of a savory guy or a sweets type of guy?
Definitely savory.
Mm.
Not too big on sweets. But that's another thing. Is since I was a kid, like those cookies that have the really thick layer of icing on top. I used to scrape that
Ah.
icing off every
Oh,
single
like
time.
those
Like a sugar
oatmeal
cookie?
cookies with the.
Well, the ones like the sugar cookies, yeah, that have like I'm talking like an
Bro,
inch
I used
thick
to
of
down
icing.
those things all the time.
I would
Yeah.
take the icing off every
You
time.
would?
Same thing when I got a cake. Like
It's just
any
sugar with
cake,
sugar.
I would take the
So wait,
icing
wait.
off.
I was there with your wedding.
Yes,
Did you eat your cake with all that icing, or did you take it off?
I took some of it off.
Okay.
But the thing is, I only got
'Cause
one
I'm
bite of
gonna
cake.
tell your wife right now. He did
Yeah.
not eat that cake.
Well, we only got one bite of our cake.
Oh.
Out of that, we cut it, and they got it on video and took pictures, and they're
Bro,
like,
there was a lot of people at your
"Okay,
wedding.
take a bite, and then,
Dude.
see you later."
That was
Yeah.
we did the exact same thing, and I would
Yeah.
have warned you if I would have thought about it. Because like
I got married
we're-
so long ago, I forgot my.
Yeah, I forgot how.
But
it
that
went
was our
down.
biggest regret. Was like we didn't even get to eat our cake.
I know
Yeah.
you spent so much money on that cake.
I know. Yeah, we
If
got
you're
one
married and
bite.
you know how much all that stuff, put in the comments how much your wedding
Yeah.
cost.
We joked
That way
that
we don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, exactly.
we joked that next time we'll get it right.
Well, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, second time. I have experience now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm 17 years of marriage, so
Wow.
we're already
Yeah,
talking
dude.
about
That's
20 our
awesome.
20-year, like, where are we gonna do a renewal of vows? Because I really want to renew our vows.
Yeah.
You guys can be invited if you want.
Absolutely.
But, yeah,
Sure.
probably have to fly out to France, but hey,
Okay.
Well,
Hey, I've
celebrate.
never been to
You
France.
mean we get to fly out to France?
you get to
There
fly
you
out to
go.
Not on
Yeah.
my dime. It's
That's-
you guys are
Oh,
rich
come
enough.
on.
You guys make enough money. So.
Yeah.
But okay, so Savory, what is your favorite food theme?
Italian.
Oh, I love Italian.
Yeah. Italian's really good.
As a matter of fact, across the street, there's a new Italian restaurant. that
We're in the
opened up.
KC
We're
area.
in the Kansas City Leawood area
Mhm.
where call it 119th
And no.
and all.
Mhm.
So behind the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We'll go.
Okay.
We'll go.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So sweet. So that's a little bit about you. Was there
Mhm.
any other personal things that are G-rated that you can share with us about who you are?
I play-
Indoors or outdoors? You know.
Indoor-
It's, well, I guess it could be both. I play a lot of music.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
that.
play
What is-
guitar.
you play guitar?
For real?
All right.
Electric, acoustic,
Both.
both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lead guitar, chords.
Lead mainly.
Okay.
Dude, for real?
I'm
Yeah.
a rhythm acoustic
For real?
guitar player.
Okay, Vox or Marshall?
Marshall.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, we differentiate there.
I mean, that's okay. I've played on Vox and I like it too. I
Yeah.
never
You
really
know-
had a strong preference.
For me, it's however the sound. If the sound man is good, he can make anything sound good.
Yeah. I mean,
As a guy that does sound all the time,
Well, this is the thing.
partially.
I don't
partially.
do sound. I appreciate my sound people because when I performed or played at church or anything like that,
Yeah.
I feel like for sound people, they will never ever feel like it's ever good enough. But for us, we're like, whoa, this is great in the ears. It's what I mean. So
what
We have
about
our own custom mixes in our ears. So if it's bad, it's not blamed on the sound guy.
what
Oh,
about-
that's the trick.
what about like PV and all of those other?
Oh,
so-
I never went down that route just because it felt like it was more of on the heavier side of things.
Did you ever do like Line 6 or any of that?
Yes. Okay. Big
Okay,
in
now
line
they're getting
6.
into like the
Okay,
yes.
nerd part of
All right,
music.
we're
They're
geeking
nerdy.
out,
yeah.
and we're not even in the
Yeah.
branding,
All right,
marketing
so-
stuff.
Taylor or Martin.
Taylor, that's mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I own
actually
it. I'm just
just
kidding.
sold my Taylor.
Okay.
And when I was cleaning air ducts in San Diego, the Taylor factory is in a subsection of San Diego called El Cajon, like a suburb. I cleaned the air ducts for the entire Taylor factory.
Okay. Very cool.
Really?
And I touched all the Taylors on the walls. Like all the good ones, like the ones that like cost 10 grand or 20 grand.
Yeah.
I used to
Dude.
own a Taylor. I forgot which one it was, but it cost me $2,400. I sold it. Actually, no, I didn't sell it. I actually donated it to a kid who was learning how to play worship in his church and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally missed my guitar. So when I went back to what is it over here? Guitar Center.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I really want to spend another $2,400 on a Taylor? Oh, here's the beautiful Martin for like $1,000. So I just got the Martin, and it actually sounds
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good strings. It's all black. It's like a Johnny Cash version. It's like really cool.
So
That
do
is
you
cool.
have a dream guitar?
I own it. It's the
You own it?
Fender Stratocaster. You know
Okay.
the American.
American version.
Who
Yeah,
would
'cause
like
they have
to?
72, 69.
Are you? Do you
72.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I spent
Dude,
a pretty good amount.
we're so close.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my dream guitar, I just got it. It's actually cheaper, and it is actually Mexican made though.
Mhm.
And it's the reissue of the 72 Telecaster Deluxe. Like it
Oh,
has the wide pickups on it,
Yeah.
and then it was the walnut color. I finally got it. It was on reverb.com.
Yeah.
It was like they stopped selling it.
Yeah. Hey, so I only feel comfortable talking about all this stuff because we're actually talking about brands, which
Yes.
kind of goes into what we're going
It
to talk
does,
about tonight.
yeah.
Like we understand these things, and you may not if you're not a musician, but if you do, you appreciate because we get excited on names because of the brand and what the value is that we know. Like Taylor, oh my gosh, Taylor! Like everybody.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
know, when it comes-
reputation.
Exactly.
There's a high quality to it.
Exactly. And you're like, I got it, but it's Mexican. But it's like, so we're literally talking branding right now.
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Oh yeah.
And kind of getting into that, like because we have branding and marketing experts right here, and a coach who always talks about the importance of great branding and great marketing strategies. Like, let me ask you really quick, like, what is the difference between branding and marketing? Like, if you could bring it down to like the kindergarten version language for the people that are listening, like, what is the difference between branding and marketing, and how do they have to work together to get the result that business wants?
Yeah, so it just in a quick nutshell, marketing is, all of the steps that you take to communicate your brand to an audience to get them to make a purchase and make a sale. Whereas brand is how people actually feel about that company.
Ooh.
And so, you have to start there. Like, how should
So
people
brand
feel?
is like an emotion. Like you're trying to get a good emotion.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm
That's
pretty sure
good.
it's more than that, but like at the end of the day, like
Well, emotions
they
are
need to
wild.
feel emotionally connected to something to
Mhm.
make a purchase
Yes,
because people buy on emotion, right?
they do. And that's why when, certain brand names, just the name alone will invoke positive or negative emotions based on someone's past experience.
Do you have any examples? Can we like
Chevy and
gamify
Ford,
that?
Chevy and Ford. Like remember,
So-
you know how people
Oh, yeah.
I have a personal example, and it may sound strange, but
Okay.
over here on 95th and Quivira by the mall, there's a restaurant called Cheddar's. I will
Okay.
never eat there again. I will never, ever eat there again.
What do you think of?
I had
the owner
the
of
worst.
Cheddar's is watching us.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Sorry,
Cheddar's, if you're
okay.
watching, we'll
Apologize.
sponsor you for.
That's okay. I don't know. I mean, I had my absolute worst dining experience there of my life, and it was terrible from start
What type of
to
food?
finish.
Like what type of ambiance and food? Is it just a basic like?
It's like maybe a grade up from Applebee's, maybe.
okay.
It's like
Yeah.
a Chili's type, but I had been there before and it was good. But it's just, I mean, literally from when I walked in the door, terrible experience until I left. Every part of the customer experience was abysmal. It was actually wild.
Wow.
Well, it's crazier when you're a business owner too, and you're like thinking of all these things, and you're
Yeah.
like, man, if I ran this place, it would not be like that. You
Yeah.
know, it's all about the
Well,
customer experience and.
Yeah. My wife and I we used to be servers at a restaurant and
Mhm.
they train us to have like high excellent standards. So we go into restaurants and we feel like forever cursed. Like we see all the small
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm like, babe, just don't even pay attention. Like let's just try to enjoy this food.
It's hard
And-
to
and
turn
you
that
just-
off.
It's hard to turn it
You
off.
go with contractors, they're like, look at this light fixture. Oh, I wouldn't have run it that way.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
It's
Yeah. Well, you probably feel that way looking at websites and marketing and social media posts.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. Like you're like, oh,
Every
what
day.
were they thinking? When
Or
they
even
did
at the
that?
restaurant, you look at the menu and you're like, why'd they choose these fonts?
Yeah.
Yeah, every day, especially when I'm trying to like get something, fortunately, a lot of companies have come out and just rolled out like a blanket website for a lot of restaurants like Menufy and like DoorDash and like all of
Yeah.
those guys.
Does it work well though?
Toast. It works fine. They basically built a one size fits all. And so your online ordering experience is like through them, but it's attached to the restaurant. Most of the times though, a restaurant still has their own site, but it's bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so you just skip
So
it
you
and
get
go to online ordering.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
only a forwarding address or something,
Yeah.
maybe to catch the cookies or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering why
Chocolate
they even
chip
still
cookies?
build their
Yeah.
own site in the
Yeah.
first place, sometimes.
Yeah. So what we learned is branding is how people see, perceive, and feel you by seeing your material, basically.
Hmm.
Like website, social media. I feel like people think branding is like business cards and logos, and that has something small to do with it, but that's not everything, right?
Mhm.
Like branding, I know because I've failed at it many times, and I've done really well. It's how you speak your language on your website or on your social media platforms. It's the personal guarantees that they feel they're going to get with you.
Mhm.
Even putting like 5-star reviews of other people posting that, like that brands you, because sometimes that story that somebody says during a 5-star review helps them to get an even different emotional feeling about who you are.
That's right.
So branding is like that emotional component. You're getting a good reaction from or you're getting a reaction. That reaction is going to cause them to either proceed to the next step, right? Because there's so many different steps before somebody even like knocks on your door and becomes a prospect, right?
Mhm.
So that's that. And then marketing is like how you communicate that. And there's obviously so many different ways you can communicate your brand. I feel like that's what most people understand.
Yes.
Branding, I feel like, is so misunderstood. And I know this because I got clients who will say branding is social media posts. I'm like, no, it's not. Talk about the marketing part of things. Like,
Yeah.
why is marketing so important? What are the different vehicles, and how can you take that brand and really like find the right platforms to talk about that brand? Because I know for different industries, there's certain platforms that may work better for others.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, marketing is critically important because you can have the best brand, the best product, all of the above in the world, but if no one knows about it, it's pretty much useless.
Build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Well, unless you forgot to change the sign to open.
Yeah.
Is that not marketing?
Yeah. I mean, and marketing too, there are so many little things that you can do to market yourself. But you just have to show up. You
Yeah.
have to go where people are because and people do overthink that quite a bit. It's like,
Oh, yeah,
okay,
all the
I think
time.
I need to build my site. Yes, you do. I need to get on social media. Yes, you do. I need to like run ads. Yes, you do. However, where are you at right now? Like what stage are you at? And then what
yeah.
makes the most sense for where you're at today?
Oh, yeah.
Because those tactics differ.
Mm.
And I think that roadmap is a crucial part that's missing from a lot of local businesses. They just think, oh, I need to sink all of this money into this service, but I haven't done the work down here first.
And they're not even making any sales yet.
Yeah,
They're like
exactly.
throwing 10, 20, 30 G's into like, yeah.
Yeah.
What has been your experience with that? Like,
I mean, I thought similarly when I first started was, oh, I have such high quality stuff as a videographer that when I put it on a website and they see it, they're going to want to book.
yeah.
Mhm.
And that wasn't the case.
Then nobody visits our website. It's like,
Yeah, because then now it's like, how do you get them to visit the website? And then
Yeah.
when they visit the website, maybe your video isn't as good as you think because you're just showing off yourself. You're not showing what you can do for them.
Yes.
Things like that.
that is huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are not the brand.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that too because that's something that I learned a few years back. Like, a lot of clients that we ended up getting that booked through either our website or referral or et cetera, I would ask them, hey, have you seen our website? Have you seen our work? No, I haven't.
It's crazy, right?
The majority of people have said that. They didn't even look. They didn't care because they heard about what we did for someone else or
Yep.
they heard about what can be done for them.
Yep.
And that's all they needed. And
Yeah.
so, seeing the quality of work, that's great, but that's someone else. That's not them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've had
Huge.
that too. It's like, man.
yeah.
You
Well,
didn't
even-
visit the website and research what you're about to buy, and they're like, "No, we just want a video."
You know what's so funny?
Yeah.
We get so offended at that because in the beginning, at least, I spent so much time working on this. But at
Yes,
the
we
end of the
did.
day, like literally, guys, if you're listening to this or watching this, at the end of the day, if you can get this part clear and accepted emotionally, nobody cares about us. Like they don't care about the owners of the business.
Mhm.
They literally only care and will reach out if they feel like you have a solution to their frustrations.
Mm.
That's it.
And it's so hard to do it yourself. So if you're like,
Mhm.
this was my problem too, and it wasn't until I got an accountability with Joe and reaching out to other people too, for me to be able to communicate that on my website.
Yeah.
Is like, man, you can't try to do it yourself because you want to say everything. Like I don't know if you've ever. Well, you said you used to be a youth pastor, and when you
Yeah.
give a
A
lesson,
very short time of my life. That was
okay,
19 years old and almost had a heart
really
attack.
any
Oh,
speech.
wow.
I joke, but like,
It's like any speech you give, you want to say everything,
yeah.
but in turn, you end up saying nothing.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
It's like it's actually just not about
Yeah.
you. It's like the less you say, then the more call to action you get, and then you can hear from them, and then you just say, "Hey, I got something for you."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I even see with business coaches, like a lot of them try to brand their experience. Like they were like, well, I started off as a CEO for this large Fortune 500 company, and then and I'm like, I don't care. And then I go up there, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. Honestly, my coach really helped me to finesse my speaking. And it started with other things. And so coming into coaching, it was easy because I've already learned some of those things like, hey, they don't care about us, talk to their pain points. So I'll go on a stage, and I'm typically the least qualified person to be on stage compared to the people that walk up with all these degrees, more degrees than a thermometer, right? Like you'd think that they can actually help better.
I like
I
that.
heard that the
I
other
like
day.
that.
Who
Yeah.
said that? Was it
And then
you?
I go,
I like
what's
that.
the number one cause of business failure in America? Burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Most entrepreneurs, if you look at everybody here, you're going to fail within the next 5 to 10 years. Most of you won't even survive here. And there's a big problem. And then I'm just talking like the pain, And I was like, as a coach, when I started talking like that, the room would just quiet down. But then before, when it'd be like, yeah, and so I'm with this company, and this is what we do, and this is how I do it.
You're trying so hard to
then
build your
people would be
credibility.
having conversations on the side. I'm like, nobody's paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
But when I talk about something that's like painful, and I even saw one of the most prominent persons in that room one time, like his eyes got glazy. Like this guy's doing like millions of dollars a year, and I said something that if you looked at him from the outside, you wouldn't think that he has any of those problems. And he's like, damn, I feel that.
Yeah.
So it's like, nobody cares about us. They only care if you come across as a solution for their frustration. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good branding, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You have to get your messaging right. And the way you find your messaging is you have to understand who you're serving and what problem you're solving. And that's where you start. And then you're not trying to solve every problem for every type of person. You really have to narrow it down because that's the other problem, offering a suite of
for
services.
everything, for everybody, yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. And that leads to burnout
funny
faster.
story for that, too.
It leads to it much faster.
True. Because you're not like narrowing down, like
Yeah.
I'll let you say something because the story I was going to say based off of that is hilarious. You guys will probably laugh while you're watching YouTube or something.
Yeah. I just found that to be true as well. And like people say niche down, and like to a certain point, you are the niche. Like if you brand well, you are the niche. But it's more about like the language and how you market to them because they want to know that they feel understood is my theory behind why niching down works. So if I'm talking to pastors about making sermon clips for their sermons and posting that on social media for them, I can now speak their language and be like, hey, are you working with volunteers to post this for you, and you have to call them 7 times a day?
Yeah.
How
do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you reading my emails?
You can then step into their mindset more, and then they feel like they're heard too or that you can relate to them is what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Like I know when we went to Los Angeles a few months ago, there's a huge billboard right outside of the airport that says uberlawyers.com.
Yeah.
And so he narrowed it down. He's like, okay, the legal space. How many different categories are in the legal space? Which one is still a little more wide open? And he just said, hey, Uber accidents, because they're happening a lot.
Not only that, but he's on the busiest road where most Ubers are picking up people.
Absolutely.
All that kind of stuff.
He's right there.
Right there.
Yeah. So it's great positioning, great, niching down. And then he's very focused. So when someone has a problem, of course they're going to go to the person that only does that.
Yeah.
They're not going to go to someone who, that's like my 7th or 8th service. So it's, we don't focus on it. We do it, but we don't focus on it. They're going to go to the guy that only does that.
Yep.
Huh.
Very
it's like the multivitamin thing, Would you rather have a multivitamin? Like you're not even getting all the vitamin D there, so go for the vitamin D when you need it.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
You said something, and this is a mistake most business owners make, especially in the beginning. Narrowing down who their target clients are, so that way your marketing strategies can focus on that type of person or that type of region or geographical area to get the right type of clients, right? Like you will only get the clients that you convert from the leads. right? So if you're getting horrible leads, you're converting into horrible clients theoretically, or you're not getting any clients because you're just not communicating their language.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first started our most successful business, we thought we were successful because we had a 97% closing ratio. We were doing $150,000, $140,000, $70,000 a year. But on our website, it was like, if you fit into these categories, you'll get a 10% discount. Law enforcement, military, first responders, single mothers, teachers, like literally I'm reading off.
Yeah.
And so one of the first sessions I had with my coach, and Coach Carey, if you're watching, you're probably going to laugh because this is huge. Like I was like laughing, but extremely offended at the same time. She's like, why do you give discounts to everybody that breathes? Are you looking for cheap clients? I'm like, I was literally going to brag about how good we're doing in our services. But after my ego was kicked for a second, I looked back and I said, but I'm burning myself out.
Yeah.
Because I'm fighting for the job. There would be literally times we were like giving people 40% discounts just to get the sale, to say we got the sale. Because my wife and I had a very like poverty mindset because we just came out of like, no, we need to get this job. We need. And so once we figured out how to market the right way and brand our message to get the right people, we were doing 30% of what we did before, making more revenue and keeping more money.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
how significant it was. And I was happy with a 40% conversion ratio. That was high for me. 40%. Because I was in the market that I wanted.
Yeah.
So huge on that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great story. Because it's so true. It's so true. And it's sometimes it's tough because I've had people ask me like, how do you find that target? And I mean, it's a little tough to answer because you can pick a niche and just dive in, but you risk like, oh well, if it doesn't go right, then I've got to switch niches, and then I've got to rebrand, and then I end up looking like a fool at networking events, and all of that.
Look a fool with your pants on the ground. Remember that song?
Well, son of a bitch.
Yeah, they're like, hey, didn't he do another service or another company like 2 weeks ago or whatever?
Yeah.
But I think it does make sense to go into the market with the service, and then after you get a few under your belt, you'll know like, okay, who was great to work with, what was an awesome experience. I didn't have a lot of problems. There wasn't a lot of complaints. That's my target, and that's what happened with us.
Yeah, you always say like, who do you like? Who is your best client?
Who do you like working with the
most?
most?
Who do you like working with?
Who is the most profitable? The one who didn't give you any problems? The one who just booked right away?
Yeah,
the ones that doesn't ask for the most revisions.
Yeah, and they give you a 5-star review. They send you referrals. Like.
And they pay you more because of that.
Like put those people in a box and see if there's a pattern.
Yeah, 100%.
So crazy story. After our coach worked with us, and we finally let up on, okay, discounts might not be good, right? Like, we really kind of like narrowed down who our target was. I mean, females between the ages of 25 to 55 that stay home, have an average of 2 kids, that live in these neighborhoods with a medium income of $250,000 or more. Like we were literally able just to kind of narrow those things down.
Yeah.
And it even got down to gender and race, just because like we just saw a pattern. Like some people, you might have a service that tracks more of one gender or one race versus the other. Like you just got to know what you do.
Yeah.
Like, and if you can avatar it and get like a picture in your mind of what an ideal client will look like, down to those specific details, trust me, like wouldn't marketing work so much better that way? Like now we know exactly who to target.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a restaurant here in town, actually downtown Kansas City, and we helped them like develop their logo. We helped them open up that shop. We got them their
Can you say
website.
what the restaurant is or no?
Yeah, it's called the KC Daiquiri Shop. They used to have a location.
That place was terrible. I'm just kidding. No.
Well, they used to have a location.
No, it was awesome. I don't know it.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was interesting what ended up happening because they had 2 locations at one point. One was over there on Metcalf, and unfortunately, it did close. And
well, what about the one in downtown?
One in downtown is still there, it's still open, but I think that they really had their targeting down. Like, so in one of the early marketing meetings that we had, I was there. There was another gentleman that was there that I brought in, and then the 3 owners were there. And they were saying, like, okay, what are we going to do with the website? What's the target? Blah, 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 blah. And one of the guys I brought in, he had an idea for who the target should be, but I don't know if it sounded okay. But as soon as one of the owners said, yeah, our target is black women, we kind of thought, really?
Tell me more. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you feel that way?
Yeah, why? And he said, well, we want it to be more lively, more, not really a club, but more like upbeat. Music will be playing, food will be there, but food is kind of second to the atmosphere and the vibe that they were going for. And he said, if the women are there, the men are coming. And he was right, because
so that's probably why he closed on Metcalf then, right?
Well, yeah, Metcalf had a completely different target, completely different. The one on Metcalf was trying to be a Cajun Creole restaurant. That was more about the food. The food was good. I thought the food was good.
I love Cajun Creole food, man.
Yeah, I thought the food was great, but
I never had it.
Well, I probably have. I just don't I'm not good with labels on food.
It's
like I go to Rose and I'm like,
do you like oxtail?
Oh yeah.
That's Creole. That's Cajun right there. That's
I'm gonna give a shout out to a restaurant.
Is that seafood?
Yeah.
Creole?
No, Creole is
it's
just
a mix.
It's
it
a
crayons?
Mix.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mix.
Creole is like a culture.
Yeah.
Like a Haitian,
Kinda Caribbean.
Bahamas,
That's what I was wondering if it had to do with the
stuff.
people group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like kind of Caribbean style, like
okay.
But
spicy sometimes, huh?
Yeah, sometimes it's real spicy. But there's a great place called Wagwan. It's over there on Troost.
Wagwan?
Oh yeah, it's delicious.
Wagwan?
Yeah, I know the owner. She's great. So she is Jamaican, and then her husband is Nigerian. And they do a mix of Nigerian Jamaican cuisine.
Let's
go.
Is
delicious. You have
we'll
to
bring
go.
the camera. We'll do like a little documentary.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to do that?
Dude, I lived in Niger for a year.
Like to see
really?
It's north of Nigeria, but I imagine a lot of their food was similar because they border each other.
More than likely.
Right?
I feel like
Piedmont,
a lot like South African, mid, north, like there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
There's something called
north in this Sahara, there's a lot of camel meat and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like middle's like jungle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something called like Dembu, or something like that, and it was like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, it was really good. We had it a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah. I also believe like restaurants, like they really got to know who they're targeting because that has everything to do with where you're going to place your restaurant.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like Italian versus Southern food versus Cajun Creole versus fusion, steakhouses, high-end steakhouses. Like you're going to have to know who they are because what can kill you is the location.
Oh, look, and that's a part of what killed them. Like we think that location is cursed. When I worked at a retail store over there called Micro Center, and I was there for 4 years. And in that 4-year period, 5 restaurants came and went in that same location.
Is it because a lot of people there don't like the culture's not to eat at restaurants, like they go home and eat?
Well, if you've ever seen the building, the access is probably one of the worst. It's one of the most inconvenient to access buildings on the whole street. You can only get there from one direction of one street. Like it's really bad. And I mean that's a part of it.
Is that where the current Micro Center is?
It's so maybe like 3 blocks up because this place is on 87th and Metcalf. There's like a photo supply there.
Yeah, I know
a few
what
other
you're
things,
talking
but that building is in such a bad spot.
Yeah,
terrible location.
If you've been struggling with your social media presence for your brand, or you often say, I should post more on social media, or how many times should I post on social media? What should I post? Then you may be a good fit for what we call quantum social vids. Just imagine 1 to 6 months worth of social media video content for your brand in one session. QSV gets you more eyes on your content and utilizes strategies that help to bring value back to your audience. If you've ever heard of the phrase out of sight, out of mind, you better believe that's the case for your brand videos and content online as well. With multiple 1-minute vertical videos, not only do you stay on your audience's mind, but you build credibility, which provides value back to your followers, which gives you more followers. Then when you make an ask, it has such a bigger impact than if you were just some billboard social media site. Quantum Social Vid Sessions get you up to 8 videos in one single session. To get started, let's book a free 15-minute discovery call. Because I'm really excited to see how Quantum Social Video subscriptions can really help you grow your brand through consistency and strategic video production here in the Kansas City area. Oh, and P.S., we can also use Quantum Social Vids as editing only. We do have editing only plans. So let's book that discovery call.
Kansas City business owners, whether you're a large business, a medium-sized business, or self-employed, I have a great workshop for you to attend on June 14th. This is where a bunch of entrepreneurs come together, learn about business, put a 90-day plan together, and every once in a while, I have a special treat when it comes to guest speakers. This time around, I have David Jackson with Tekkii, and I have Jared Taylor with JT Visuals Without the I coming to talk about why branding and marketing is so important for your business and how you can actually use that to increase leads, increase followers and likes, whatever you're looking for. Here's why you don't want to miss out on this event. First of all, you're going to open network with other entrepreneurs who are like-minded that really want to make their business grow and scale. You're going to get a plan together and you're going to learn from industry leaders like David Jackson and Jared Taylor. I want you to consider signing up for this event. Go ahead and register, pay for your ticket, and get ready to have a great time with other entrepreneurs and learn how to make your business grow the right way. I look forward to seeing you there June 14th. Stay strong. All right, so David, can you talk to us about some of the changes that are actually happening? Because I feel like between the three of us, you have the most experience with this because you track it all the time for your clients. Talk to us about like the trends, the changes, probably a little bit of AI because that's a huge thing right now. Artificial intelligence. I feel like a lot of people are using it rightly, but also trying to cheat a little bit with it and try to get results that they want. So yeah, what are some of the trends, dude? Like what are we looking at for the now and the future?
Oh, there's a pretty good amount. So, I've really only like kind of honed in on how it's going to affect the local space, but in general, I believe that SEO will be affected. I've actually been saying that since about late December, early January,
I
and
know we had some conversations about that. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I'm even later than a lot of other people that have seen this, but I mean, it is time to start taking action on getting prepared for what could be coming down the pipeline. So, yeah.
Here we go. I love this.
Yeah.
What could come down the pipeline? Like,
Well,
you're stringing us along here, dude.
Yeah,
What could
yeah.
happen?
Yeah, I'm
We're all
building.
freaked out.
It
right?
made me think
Yeah.
of something too about like how video is going to die in the future. So if you bring that up after
Yeah.
you get through your thing,
Yeah, like I mean, I'm building the anticipation.
Yeah, let's
for
go.
me. So,
We're all gonna die.
so there's this thing that's available in Google Search Labs, which is like their experimental, kind of research division, and you can actually use it now and test it out. But it's called Google Search Generative Experiences, and what that is Google's AI search. So it's kind of like their answer to like ChatGPT and Bing and what they release there. But essentially, you type in a query in Google Search like you normally do, and it gives you an option to get an AI result. And so if you get an AI result, the whole search engine just shifts everything down. This box opens up, and it gives you your answer, and it summarizes all of the articles that it could find, a lot of different information about businesses, et cetera, and gives you a summarized answer.
I'm already getting that. I don't remember ever checking anything either.
Yeah, same
Like-
for me. I got it.
Okay.
I got it on. I can't remember. I was on Chrome, and I was also. Oh, thank you. I was on Chrome, and I was searching, and I saw that option to get an AI result, but I was not in the account that I signed up for it under because you're supposed to sign up for it, and I did on one
So
account.
somebody already had their thing up, or
Yeah, but it was on my account, so I don't know if they were just like, "Hey, let's just test it out a little bit."
Dude, that's
or-
freaky.
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
ever opting in, and I'm seeing that, but it's not on everything.
So what did you say happens?
Yeah, so it gives you a little prompt below the result, below your search query that says, "Would you like an AI result for this search?"
So just put in any type of search.
Dude, and you know
That's
what's
right.
dangerous with this is like people are just going to see it and then believe it. And when I did it, it was something that was factual, and I knew it to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, does an ATEM Mini, like one of the switchers I
Oh,
have,
shoot.
work with this or something? And then it said, yes, it does. And I was like, no, it doesn't.
He was
Doesn't.
right. He was right. Do you want an
Yeah.
AI?
Yeah, it's something that they're rolling out.
Yeah.
They don't have an official release date for the full rollout, but it's been in Search Labs now for over a year.
Yeah.
And I was using it even earlier today, and I've been using it for the last few weeks just to kind of, see how it's going to impact local. And there are a number of changes that I think local businesses should be aware of when it comes to, getting in front of this and not
Yeah.
being like left behind, because it's pretty different from normal search.
Yeah. Well,
It's like, how do you get the AI to pick up your website or
Yeah.
your stuff?
That's the big question mark.
No one knows that.
I
right?
think that's all in like the test and measuring phase right now. Because like
Yeah.
AI, what I've learned is AI just gathers a bunch of data and they produce their answers and results based off of just all that data that they collect.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what's happening here. So we do have an idea of what clients should do to get prepared for SGE, because
What are you calling it? What?
SGE, which is Search Generative Experience.
Okay.
There's another buzzword that they're saying. They're saying SEO is going away.
SGE. I
Yeah.
have seen a lot of people talk about SEO going away.
There's
Or
does
at
it-
least
or
the way
does-
we know it.
Or
Yeah.
does SEO just change and the engine part is AI?
Well, that's exactly right. They're calling it GEO, which
Oh.
is Generative Engine Optimization.
Crazy.
You have to like change. Like,
Isn't that crazy?
Well, but that's the
GEO.
thing. Like SEO has been big for so long,
hmm
right? Like
yeah.
we have to. Like things are changing.
Things are changing.
Remember when the internet was just like you have to plug it in?
Oh. Who's on the internet? I need
Who's
to make
on
a,
the phone or
Yeah,
who's
make
on
a
the
phone
internet?
call.
I gotta
Yeah.
make a call. Who's
Yeah.
downloading
Sorry, guys,
something?
we're like mid-30s and above over here, so
Yeah,
you
I
might not
remember
well, I'm
understand that.
32. That's lower 30s.
Okay, 30s and above, but still
But
I
yeah,
remember.
LimeWire, you know.
mid-30s,
yeah.
and I grew up broke, so we only had like the bottom end of everything, right? So
Yeah, but it's moving. Like we thought that search as it was would be there, and then we would just have to deal with algorithm updates.
Yeah.
But this is a huge update. But the
I mean, in a way, AI is the algorithm update, right?
yeah,
What would
I
you
mean,
say is really the difference between an algorithm and AI? Like, aren't they
Yeah.
close to the same
Well,
thing? It's AI's kind of become a
generates it on its
buzz.
own, though, right? Like
AI.
you don't need well, you probably still need humans, but like as of right now, you need humans, but like it'll
It's
most
supposed to
likely
just
just
be
generate information and stuff like that and create its own algorithms, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it is true that algorithms are AI, and they've been kind of in place for a while, especially through
Like
social
Google
media.
Assistant, Siri, aren't they a form of AI for
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit? Like, we
Yeah.
just never called it AI because it wasn't hype yet.
Well, not just that, but I think when like Chat GPT came out, then everybody started talking
That's
about
when
AI.
it did explode there because that
Because-
was
Which I use
Yeah.
Chat GPT all the time. I'm like, hey, this is the email I want to send. Can you make it sound more professional? Like,
hmm
I think that's still a good way to use
Yeah.
AI.
I think so too.
Right?
I mean, AI should be viewed. I believe AI should be viewed as a tool,
yes.
and so something that allows people to do things they would have otherwise not been able to do without it.
yeah.
And I think that's great. I think that's going to open up a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
But I do also believe that there's a window.
Mm.
I do believe there's a window for businesses, individuals to utilize it now before it's way too saturated. And it's
Oh, yeah.
crazy to think that it's like, I mean, because it's certainly saturated.
Yeah.
But
you can almost tell now, like,
yeah.
at least from my point of view, when people make their posts on social media, it still works right now. But at least for me, in my eyes, I can tell they use
Because
AI.
you probably use it a lot.
absolutely.
They used
Well,
AI.
and I also
you wouldn't
think,
put that many
too,
emojis.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, it's
yeah.
funny.
I think what's happening too is like maybe when it came off, like the expectation wasn't going to be that everybody just jumps on it right away, but then everybody's like, "Oh shoot, AI! Oh, I don't have to think about this. Oh, I could do. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
great. Boom!"
Yeah, it's
and
more
then all of a sudden now
convenience.
it's like,
But then you had grifters too come out that were like, oh, and I remember there's a guy that I follow on YouTube. Well, I used to follow on YouTube, and he did a lot of great local SEO content. I watched him for years, but as soon as ChatGPT came out, every thumbnail video was half man, half robot. He was like a half Terminator robot, and he's like, I use AI to make like $5,000 a day on autopilot. No work, and that was
see
just
those all
like
the
the
time.
common theme. There were so many creators.
Yeah.
If I had $1 for every creator that came out with a half robot avatar, it was just,
Yeah.
like it was nuts.
Okay.
It was
well,
nuts.
and then too, like I remember I tried. I probably fell for one of those. Like, okay, use AI. It was with crypto. It was supposed to be like a thing that like generated, and then it crashed. Like somebody
Yeah.
hacked into it. Somebody, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that sucked.
Yeah,
you know what I
because
mean?
you realized that crypto wasn't actually decentralized. Like there was this
Probably,
connotation of
yeah.
like, oh, it's decentralized, all of it. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
You gotta like do your
I
research.
was just
and find
attracted
out.
to, oh, there is a system that will keep trading these things and make
Yeah.
money and bring money. Like it was just,
Yeah, and
which,
AI.
and I knew people that actually did make money. I felt like I just fell on the butt end of it before it crashed. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
that's how it is. That's how it was with like AIs. That's how it was with NFTs. You know, it's kind of like a get in early, but AI still has practical applications. But the same, or rather, a similar crowd got in and said, "Hey, I'm going to like push the AI front," because there was a white hot space where AI, whatever it was applied to, it was like, oh, there's interest, and we got to sign up. We got to do it. And I mean, shoot. That makes perfect sense because it was emerging, and you thought, oh, what can this be applied to? And suddenly, all of these companies are coming out with AI this, AI that. And it's like, how did they
And
all
it's
come
getting
out with
good.
theirs so quickly once ChatGPT hit it? But we
Because
know
they're
why.
using
They
ChatGPT on
are.
the backbone.
They are. Yeah.
Like everything is using ChatGPT, and they just
Everything.
white label it.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we talk? Because I'm pretty sure a common thing people are thinking about, like, okay, cool, like AI, chat, good, bad, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would personally say it depends on what you're going to use it for.
Well,
Yeah.
But
is a knife good or bad?
it's a tool. It's a tool
Right.
to do something. So, like, maybe let's bring it down and say, okay, like, what are you seeing? What do you need to be careful to do or not to do? And like, what should you really use ChatGPT or AI for
Yeah.
that you know can actually benefit the business versus, be in limbo because Google's going to change this or change that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what is good application of AI in our business?
So, going back to talking about local businesses here, in order to prepare to optimize for AI, local businesses have to focus purely on local applications as it concerns their website. And so there's a lot of SEO programs that a local business will employ, such as blogging, such as doing too many things that are a bit more technical, a little bit more like, okay, I'm gonna spend time doing this, spend time doing this. I need like all of these different different keywords for things that aren't necessarily local. Like I got to keep blogging. I got to keep doing this. I have to, there's a lot of tactics. I mean, I'd have to think through like the big list. There's a lot of tactics that a business will employ that don't pertain to the Google My Business profile, and they don't pertain to the optimization of the site for a local search. So, and I mean, social media is important to do, but I think that blogging will be affected heavily as far as people putting out blogs, because like I was saying with SGE, you can just get an AI result for the answer you're looking for, and it takes a bunch of articles and summarizes them in that search. And so it's not likely that someone's going to want to visit a website and read that whole article if they had it summarized by AI within 5 seconds. Now, sure, some people will still do that, but it's just a matter of what you spend your time doing, especially as a local business. So it's like, okay, what do I need to shift gears to do? You need to spend most, if not all of your time managing your Google business profile.
Okay.
That's going to be how you get ahead of it.
That's where people find you.
That is where people find you. I mean, that relevance has increased so much. I mean, there are a lot of people who don't even scroll past the map pack.
No, I don't. I know I don't.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, like, before, I remember like
map pack.
10 years ago.
Yeah. So the map pack is when you do a search for like landscapers near me, if you scroll a bit, you'll see Google Maps and you'll see 3 results.
Oh, map. You said map pack.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not
yeah.
Maps pack.
I thought you said Matt.
Oh, map
No,
pack.
map. So when
like,
Google
what
comes
is
up,
that?
you type in, then you see a map.
Oh, yes. Okay.
10 years ago,
Yeah, I agree.
10 years
yeah.
ago, what's so funny about that? 10 years ago, we're like, yeah, people scroll down to about 3/4 of the page, and like it's getting more and more impatient. Like,
Yeah.
You even told me this. Like, if somebody clicks on your website and it takes more than 3 seconds to load, they click out and go to the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just.
But we have a
yeah.
cool loading icon.
Huh. Yeah, that's true. It's like a
Well, hey.
rocket ship or something.
Rocket ship or me dancing.
But that's just going in line. It's going in line with changing consumer behavior, because
Yeah.
that's the reality. Like that's why Google has even entertained this. Not just because of ChatGPT being rolled into Bing and Bing search, but consumer behavior is changing, because there are a lot of consumers that would rather not do the deep research they would rather someone tell them, hey, get this. This is correct. This is verified. I did the verification for you.
Yeah.
I researched this. I found this was good. Cool. That's why influencers are so popular. Because the influencer says, hey, get this product. I researched it. The
I
reviews
just
are
put it
this.
on for you. Yeah.
And so get it. And then they will go buy it because that person did that work. And so now AI is doing that work.
It's funny. So consumer behavior is just getting lazy.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it always has been.
summarizing,
I would
it's
say
convenience.
From
It's just,
McDonald's,
everything
you know?
is convenience. Well, if
yeah.
I don't have to do the research,
and then
Right.
it's still I don't do the research and then it's still a good result. And I think that's where AI comes in because you can have an influencer sponsor a bad product. You know, and that's happened. I mean, you know, the FTX thing that happened. That was pushed by a lot of big, trustworthy influencers, and a lot of people got wrecked from that. And so
like
AI,
Tom Brady.
I know, right? I know
did
Did you
he?
see the roast the
that
other day?
roast, yeah.
So in context, if you don't know the crypto FTX and that company, then they were there was a huge fraudulent thing and they crashed. You probably heard about it, but
Was it XRP or?
there was one before it too. But FTX was one of the major exchanges, right? That was
I
also
don't. I just
ad.
knew that people got messed up, and I didn't really understand. I never put money into that. So.
Yeah, they were an
Yeah.
ad on Super Bowl. too.
Super Bowl ad, yeah.
Oh, snap.
They had a lot of influence, and then they had a lot
It was
of
a
influencers.
good ad.
Really?
Yeah.
If I remember right,
Yeah, it was cool.
it was the one about like history and people saying they're not going to do something when it was early.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Gotcha.
oh, the internet, that'll never be a thing.
Yeah.
And then, it was a thing.
Dude,
Yeah, I mean,
they branded that one pretty
They,
good.
they
did.
did
They
really
did.
well.
The
They were
brand
good at
was-
branding and marketing.
The
but-
brand was, do you want to get rich because you're part of the beginners club, right?
Mhm.
So,
yeah.
yeah, and I mean, it was compelling, and people had heard of crypto and knew people were getting rich off of it. So I mean, all of the ingredients were there. It's just that it turned out to be a fraud,
Yep.
jeez.
unfortunately. And
It was not decentralized. It was
Yeah.
essentially you were investing in a company instead of the actual blockchain.
Mm.
Like the company just owned their own blockchain or something like that. Like,
yeah, but going back to like why it worked. I mean, the celebrities. I mean, that commercial had
True.
so many celebrities
Yeah.
on it, but they, hey, we've done the research. We trust it. We think this is good. You
Mhm.
should get it. But that is shifting into AI. Like,
and
the
they just got
AI is
paid to
doing
say
that.
it. They don't. I don't know if they really did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You never know.
well, apparently Tom Brady did it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently he did it.
I mean, she roasted him and said he lost $30 million. So it was somewhere up there.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. That is a lot
Wow.
of money. So, yeah.
And a lot of that was
Well,
from the market crash too.
A good takeaway I'm taking from this is that, like, we're talking about the negative aspects in some cases, but if you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and you're serving people, like, you really got to study their behaviors
Mhm.
and the behavioral changes. I can give an example of how we made a shift, a wise shift. We were almost not going to do that, but with our duct cleaning company, our CRM system told us that we can be a beta client for their book online now button.
Hmm.
And they're like, well, if your target market are ladies with kids and all this kind of stuff, like during business hours, they might not be available to call you. They might not even want to call,
Hmm.
right? Dude, I would wake up at night with like 7 booked online. Oh, you just got 3 more booked online. I'm like,
That's
oh
cool.
my gosh.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Like, and that one was just finding out their behavior by accident,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Like, and then guess what we did when we saw that? Our voicemail said, sorry, we can't get to you right now, but if you can go to our online, our website and hit book now, you can find slots that are already available. And guess what? We were on the phone and bing, it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Human behavior,
Human
dude.
behavior.
I thought about like we have Growth Club coming up if you're local, and
Oh, yeah.
I thought about this is a little preview on this podcast because it's Coach Joe's saying Growth Club about business coaching, and you get this really great opportunity to be able to network with people, but also workshop and plan your 90 days
Yeah.
as a business, and it's really beneficial. And then David Jackson is one of the featured speakers, and
Yeah.
I'm one of the featured speakers. So this podcast that you're listening to is a bit of a preview of
Yeah.
what you would get at Growth Club. So if you're in the area, definitely recommend looking into Growth Club and before it sells out, because
Well,
if it's not already.
we're talking about
Oh yeah.
Kansas City Growth Club,
Yes.
which is
And you also have
the 14th of June. Let me just double check that.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
the
have to-
14th.
So the theme is going to be branding and marketing.
Yeah.
And we're going to have David Jackson talk about foundational pieces to actually, and he's up with the change. And then we're also going to talk about branding through videography, like how that's a huge deal right now. Like people are literally on social media, they're just watching things.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, then it's really hard to express your value.
And I thought about like opening my line with a story of an experiment that people did to test human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, what in the heck does this have to do with branding and marketing? Everything, because it's all about human behavior.
Is it
Yes.
when
And
that professor like did the jail guards and prisoners?
No, it's
Okay.
actually
That's a cool story though.
there's a cool
Yeah,
show on
that guy-
Netflix.
yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's a cool show on Netflix called 100 Humans.
Oh.
And it's
Interesting.
really there was a really cool one about positive reinforcement and the difference it makes versus criticizing people.
Mhm.
Dad, did you hear that? No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if
Um,
you're critical to mean well, like if you don't like see something in someone and believe in them, they're not going to improve the next time they come back. And that's what the experiment proved.
Yes.
It was very, very interesting.
Well,
But yeah.
funny story on that. Like, there was a guy that wanted to do a 1-to-1 with me because he apparently does websites and CRMs and all that kind of stuff. He met with my assistant to try to get an appointment with me. And the first thing he did was, I looked at your website and, what made you guys choose this? What made you, like, he was, and so
It was critical first.
he was very critical. So my assistant came and she's like, I'm setting up a 1-to-1, but like, I just want to tell you, like, he really made me mad. And so I went into the meeting thinking, all right, because she's scheduled, I'm gonna meet, but like, I'm not doing any business with you.
Wow.
Yeah, guys, if you're using these marketing techniques to send those random emails, like a lot of digital marketers do this or web designers, like, I don't think you guys are doing this. There's no way you're doing it. Where you're like, because you guys are genuine to me. And that's, you go through and you go, hey, I looked at your website and here's the performance analysis of how bad it is. And we can improve that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're using a scare tactic
Yeah.
to get you to improve your website. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
like, come on.
They're going fishing. Like I feel like one day it would be great to do either a podcast or like a video or something on all of those tactics I've seen.
Okay.
Because there was one that was really good. But yeah, those guys, they put that together. They usually have a tool that automatically sends out the email, and it's just phishing. It's like, okay, I'm going to send 1,000 of these, and
That's
maybe
AI. They're using AI.
Yeah,
And somehow
yeah,
they know you just bought a domain and you didn't attach it to anything.
yeah.
So they just know that, oh, there's a new registrar on this domain. And
They can buy these lists too. They can see when someone gets listed on a certain website. Like, oh, I just got on Angie's list. Now I have them, and now I can buy that list and start
man, they're good at
emailing
leads
them,
and cold emails, but
it's
the
a
tactic has got to change.
and that's dying. That cold emails are really dying. I mean, they're just not as
cold
effective.
LinkedIn messages. Do you ever
Yeah.
get those?
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Those are
Yeah.
like, at least those guys have the positive side usually, at least from my experience.
Yeah, I've gotten more positive ones, but yeah, just
but you
that
can tell they're
shotgun
trying to make a
blast.
sale.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that strategy wasn't working, people wouldn't be doing it. So it still works.
Yep.
Yeah, it does work to an extent, but it's all in how that email is crafted, because I've certainly replied to a number of emails that were really good that piqued my interest, but you just have to put a little more thought into it, and then again, understand the problem.
Yeah.
Don't just blast this out.
Yeah. I saw like a more direct one where someone actually made a video
Yeah.
like of their website, but they were praising it and saying like, I like what you're putting out. I love your mission, man. I would love to like improve this just a little bit. And, I want a part of this.
Yeah.
And
I bet he had more success.
yeah.
I bet he had more
Yeah.
success.
Well, because
That's
nobody
cool.
likes to be criticized.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does. But
But guys, all right, we were talking about crypto and we were talking about
a lot
AI.
of stuff.
Yeah,
And
a
before
lot.
we get off of those two, I have to say that I'm not fearful about AI in the video world, but video content is in a weird stage.
I was actually going to
Because-
bring up what you asked me to bring up, so I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah, because of AI. Like there's these
Yeah.
programs that can record your voice. You just say their script over and over and they record your voice and they do a pretty darn good job. Like if not good enough yet, because they're They're not as emotional. They can't go like, whoa, yeah. You know, and throw in that kind of emotion.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the JT way.
Yeah.
But, or be like too human about it, but they get better.
Yeah.
And then what happens next year? And now, like, I do these things where they're talking head videos, and I call them value videos, and it's a primary thing.
Mhm.
But now people can go and build their own avatar that looks like them, and then they can record their voice, and it sounds like them.
Yeah, I've seen it.
How do we differentiate that? You know, it's like, well, what's going to happen is AI is trying to get, well, not AI, but like people are trying to regulate AI, and Google has already implemented this where like on YouTube, you have to mark that it's with AI or not.
Yep.
And so now it's like, you're going to have a badge about if this content was made with AI or not. And from a consumer standpoint, if you see that it was made with AI, are you going to believe it as much as if it was with human or feel it as much? We're talking about emotion, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I think that's going to depend on the season, because if there's anything we notice in marketing and branding is it goes through different seasons, and sometimes quick. Like, take anything. Like, you start to see a trend go, and then people get tired of it.
Yeah.
For example, like videos and reels on social media.
Yeah.
The types that you're doing. Like, reels used to be a big thing. Now it's carousels. It's going to go back to reels. It's going to go back to videos.
It's whatever the new feature is.
Podcast in the beginning, people used to listen to the entire podcast. Now people get just clips of podcasts. Like, I watch more Joe Rogan clips and know what he's talking about than the entire 4 or 5 hour podcast. Like, there's no way I'm listening to that 4 hour podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
unless you're on a road trip, maybe.
On a road trip, maybe, but then I'm just watching clips.
And it has to be a really interesting guest that you like actually want to see.
Yeah, you're pretty interesting.
Yeah. The best podcast strategy is to not like just solely podcasts. It's to be social media involved and all that.
Well, the majority of people aren't even going to watch this entire podcast.
Yeah.
They're going to watch the quantum social clips you're going to make, you know, and they're probably going to skim through, you know.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Like, we're okay with that because
your mom might watch it, or, you know, if you're a guest, or.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, you gotta promote it to different people to see me on there. But it's interesting what you say about the video and the AI videos, because they've already infiltrated YouTube quite a bit. Like, there are some of the bigger channels I've seen are channels that recap old movies. Like, I saw one that was recapping the movie The Day After Tomorrow.
Really?
And it has a really catchy title. It's like, you know, man messed with Earth too much and froze all of New York or whatever. And so
just New York, because we don't like New Yorkers, right? So
yeah. And then it's just a clip from that movie.
It's just 10 minutes of clips and an AI voice recapping the movie.
Oh yeah. I watched
that stuff is good.
It's like remember like Cliff Notes for dummies, like like the Cliff Notes of this movie. Well, I don't have to watch that movie then.
It's good for the movie industry where some of those things are going, because like A24, that studio, and like if you see clips of like random movies that aren't on streaming services, you're gonna find them. You're gonna find them on social media, and you're gonna get drawn into a scene and experience it.
I mean, you go try to find it. And watch it.
But it's all the human behavior, right?
But I think the difference though, like those videos with AI, okay, that's fine, right? But I think that there's still, again, a window for businesses to create video content that is genuine, because I from my observation of businesses and video, I've been telling businesses to do videos for like 5 years. I remember I would be at networking events and I'd be talking to financial advisors, and I'm saying, look, you can be so far ahead of all these people if you just wake up and do a video every morning for 5 minutes and put it out there.
Oh, I can't. There's regulations. Oh, okay. How does Dave Ramsey do it? How does this other guy do it that I like on Netflix? Yeah. How to Get Rich. That's a good show. He has his own show. Yeah. Of course, he's independent, but it's like, dude.
But there's still a window, because if you think about it, and I want local businesses to like understand this, pick an industry, just any industry that's a local business. Just pick
window cleaning,
tennis.
So window cleaning, tennis,
window cleaning, tennis players.
I think there you go. That'd be a niche. That'd be a niche.
I thought of pickleball, but I said tennis. You know,
that's all good.
Yeah. But look at window cleaners. Like, there actually is one guy that has a pretty popular company here in KC, and he built his entire business on YouTube videos.
Oh,
And
nice.
he's one of the, if you type window cleaners Kansas City, he's one of the top ranked
I've seen
guys.
it.
He's like
Nice.
top 3, but he did mostly YouTube videos. But how many window cleaners in Kansas City have a YouTube channel?
Not a
You can
lot.
One.
probably count it on one hand. You
Yeah.
can probably
Not a
count
lot.
on one hand. And then how many are as consistent as he is at putting out content?
Mm.
Yeah.
Only him, I believe. I mean, I haven't done the research, so
Yeah.
it could be someone else.
True.
But
Well,
only
I
him.
know a auto detailer that started off like 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, like just videotaping or recording himself like clean, and then created professional reels out of it and everything like that. And he has like the largest subscription package for mobile detail. I mean, like
Oh, nice.
7 figures.
Yeah, wow.
You know.
But he built that up because, I mean, it is true that AI video, like, you know, Sora and the like, will come
Sora,
out and
man.
be a force to be reckoned with. But I still do believe that people are there's going to be a pendulum here. Like,
Yeah,
as a
there
lot
will
of
be.
AI stuff comes out, I think that it's going to switch to people craving human connection.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the seasons are going to go up and down because we
Mhm.
see that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
COVID, everybody wanted to work from home. Now everybody wants to come back in.
Yeah.
Like, there is that crave. I think humans crave human interaction. And if
Yeah.
we don't have it for a while, we change.
Yes.
We definitely change. Like, I like to say, what's up, bud? How you doing? Like, you know, like,
Yeah, you don't want
Oh,
to do
you
that
slapped
over
my
Zoom.
shoulder, man.
oh, come on, don't be so weak.
Yeah, you don't want to do that over like Zoom the whole time, but video is still the best way to connect.
Yep.
Like, it's better than an article, it's better than a photo. You
Yeah.
actually see that person, you see the inflections in their voice, you read their body
that's
language.
huge.
And then you find out it was AI and you feel wronged.
Well, you know,
Because there's deep fakes out there. Do you know that?
yeah.
Yeah. So deep fakes. This is where I think
you
the
got so
blockchain.
emotional about that. I'm like, something
Dude.
happened to you, didn't it?
No, but I've just seen like from the consumer side,
Yes.
and I'm like, oh come on, guys! Like,
Yeah.
there's like deep fakes nobody's gonna believe.
Yeah.
Hardly
Yeah.
anything anymore. Like video used to be proof for everything,
Yeah.
you know, and now it's gonna be like
I feel like
so. But I wonder if the blockchain,
Mm.
where it's decentralized and you can attach a video to be verified by a blockchain
Mhm.
Mhm.
that it is real, that would make
I wonder,
become a thing, you know.
I wonder too if like the quality of videos is going to drop. I mean, it already kind of has. If you look at
True.
TikTok and Instagram and everything, people are just shooting them on their phones. Like even business videos are just being shot on the phone.
Yeah.
I do shots on the phone too. Like, I mix it up.
I
Yeah.
call it ugly video.
But I feel like sometimes I get more views on that. So
Yeah, well,
It's just
anyways.
raw.
because it's about the content at the end of the
it
day.
is.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know, and like if the content's good, you can shoot on a potato. You know, it's if that's
Those
people
are
are going to
real
consume
potato cameras.
golden potatoes.
golden potato.
Those
Yeah.
are- yeah. Anyways, well, dude, look, I know we're running really low on time.
Mhm.
I think we need to do a part 2.
Oh yeah.
Part 2 with David Jackson. Did you guys
All
like
right.
David Jackson? Write in the notes. If you didn't, we're gonna send it
Hope
straight
so.
to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so-
Send it. Yeah.
straight to him. Like, hey, David, you're not liked. No, but I think
Yeah.
a lot of people like him.
You got any
But-
plugs for yourself, or like where
Yeah.
we can follow you, or
Yeah.
for the audience?
Yeah, check us out at Tekkii.com. That's TEKKII.com. You can also find me, David Jackson, on LinkedIn. That's where I'm going to be sharing a lot more about SGE, a lot more about local business marketing and digital marketing tips and tactics. Those are the 2 main places. Eventually, I'll get on YouTube, so stay tuned for that. But you can find all of our social links at
Yeah.
the bottom of
I
our
can
website.
help you with that.
Yes, that would be
I know a
appreciated.
professional videographer that can help
Yes.
you with that. So
That would be appreciated. And I'm taking that step towards YouTube because I do believe that businesses have to produce video content, at least in that window where there's still a blurred line between AI and genuine human
well, we'll let you
talking.
post this video on your YouTube eventually if you want to.
Okay, cool. Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know if we're able to.
maybe some clips, yeah,
Yeah, some clips.
Yep.
if you don't mind.
But,
Oh yeah, we'll
um,
tag you and you tag us right back too.
Absolutely.
Well, branding, marketing, guys, super huge deal when it comes to running business. JT Visuals without the I, they are experts in just everything videography. But I love the niche that he has, where it comes down to videos that really benefit your business. You know, value videos, quantum social videos, which are pretty much videos you can put on Reels and TikToks and stuff like that
Yeah.
to really promote your business and stuff like that. And he has great packages. And if you're wanting to learn more and you're local here in Kansas City, like definitely check him out because he has a passion for business owners and helping them, right?
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
For-
And so, Tekkii, honestly, there's only 2 web designers that I really like in the United States. You are definitely one of them. I've seen it. And then our friend Nicole Crocker, who I've connected you guys
Oh,
with
yeah,
in San
yeah.
Diego, who, has a different niche, different focus, but I think like there's just a lot of good wisdom between you two. Because guys, if you're really out there and you're trying to hire or invest in a marketing company, you gotta be very careful. There's a lot of people out there that don't exactly know what they're doing. Or they can create something very pretty, but they don't know how to make that thing work for you. Right?
They just
Like,
do the job.
and they
that's
just
it.
do the job.
They just hit record on the camera, or they just use a Squarespace
Yeah.
design.
And honestly, I mean, it might be better than what you're doing right now, but eventually, like, you got to think long term for your business. If you want to keep changing things, then that's going to be chaotic. So, and lastly, I just want to put in a plug for Growth Club. Growth Club is really about the entrepreneur coming in for a day, and really learning about business. We're going to have a topic of marketing and branding here in Kansas City, June 14th. And then we're going to go and implement some of those goals and put into a 90-day plan. There's going to be food. There's going to be bourbon and wine after. These guys are going to sponsor the happy hour, the charcuterie board, and the bourbon and wine. Surprise, guys. But anyways.
I thought about giving a book away. Would that
you
be
can give a
good?
book away, do whatever you want. And then if you're on the West Coast in San Diego, I have Growth Club there June 28th, and we're going to have a leadership and management topic. So
Oh, yeah, that's good.
really, like, if you're an entrepreneur, you got to invest in yourself. You are worth more than just something that's cheap out there. Invest in your business, invest in yourself, get the right people on your team to do the things that you want. Trust me, the results that you will get by doing that would be beyond what you can think about. But if you have that mindset of cheap, I mean, and I'm just gonna be blunt, like just cheap, and I could do it all myself. Well, honestly, good luck. You don't have anybody else but yourself to blame.
Maybe you think it's
So-
good, but then you're like, oh, I need the accountability. There's a reason why someone's in this industry,
Yeah.
and they can shed light.
Yeah.
That actually people are paying more for less than this, and you
Yeah.
go, oh, really?
Yeah, there's only 24 hours in the day,
Yeah.
and you have to spend a little bit of that time sleeping. So, I mean,
Sleep
that
Well,
is
is,
you're
important.
married now too. You gotta spend
Yeah.
more time not just sleeping, but
That-
you gotta spend time with your wife now. Wait till you got kids.
yeah, that is the biggest and harshest lesson in business is you only have 24 hours in the day,
Yep.
and if you don't want to get burnt out, you know that you need to use money to get more time,
Yeah.
which is investing in yourself, investing in your education, investing in others like JT and Joe.
And your
I mean,
Investing in your
and
team,
your
getting the
team.
right people on your team.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to get that. You have to understand that before you can really grow.
So, guys, as an entrepreneur, you're doing a great thing for your local economy. We want you to stay strong, keep on keeping on, because it will really. Sorry, I took your line.
he,
But
he stole
you'll,
it.
You'll stay at the end. I really want to
Okay.
say, like, our goal is to help you with this podcast so that you don't give up, because you're
Yeah.
going to get tempted to, And so just these little bits, apply it, put some action steps onto your thing. If you want to use a business coach, my firm is more than happy to contact you if you want to. I'm pretty sure you're more than happy to help out with videography,
Mhm.
the right digital marketing, the right way to do that. So, guys, as always, stay strong.
And keep on keeping on.
And David Jackson, y'all.
All right. Take care, everyone.
All right, guys.